Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Surviving Narcissistic Deception with me, Michelle, your host, dream driver, coach, and the person you can come to learn not only more about narcissistic personality disorder and how it affects you and how you can identify it and protect yourself from people with this disorder, since there are so many of them. You can also visit me at adreamlife.com and learn the many ways that you can have a one-on-one with me by booking a live call or by joining the You Can't Hurt Me No More self-love kit for empaths who love too hard. And if you have questions and stories, you can email me at ask-michelle@adreamlife.com, and I do my best to get back to my emails within 48 hours. And though I'm unable to answer all questions, I do my best to answer ones that I feel will help everyone. So today we are going to discuss why the narcissist loves you, but I don't mean that true authentic love that you may be searching for or that you may have been programmed into believing exists. I'm talking about that dark, sadistic, sick love that the narcissist thinks he or she is feeling, and unfortunately only feels when you're gone. Wouldn't it be nice if that most people, or people that you meet, or people that you become engaged with through circumstance, let's say your own children, your adult children, your intimate and love partners, your parents, cousins, friends, or whoever, loved you so much, right? Because love would be natural, but that they loved you so much that in instances where they realize that you may be incompatible, or that they may not have good intentions for you, that you're just not a good fit, and for whatever reason they don't really like you, wouldn't it be nice if they would be defaulted into an understanding that they should part ways or separate from you? I mean, isn't that what most of us would want? Or are we so dysfunctional that we want to keep people close to us who mean us no good? Because this is how the narcissistic person is. Narcissistic people, at the root of it, are very needy, fragile, insecure people. They're not people typically who can exist on their own. Now, there's a difference between kind of like a psychopathic, sociopathic, narcissistic person who spends a lot of time alone, but then may come out and get his or her victims at whatever level. But these everyday narcissistic people that we come across, unfortunately, are not capable of love. However, they can mimic the love of the empath, or at least the characteristics that would trigger or spark the love that an empath needs to give to another person, needs to flow, and we have that codependent empath that feels that unless they're loving someone or being with someone through thick and thin, or taking care of someone, or giving more of themselves than they really should be giving, then they're not really living, right? Because they're programmed this way. Here's the problem though. The narcissistic person is a person who was damaged. 9 times out of 10, more than likely this person was damaged. Even if the person was not damaged by an abusive parent or an abusive caretaker who made them feel like nothing during a time when they really, really needed love, and wanted love and was reaching out for love and couldn't find it, even if this person wasn't the subject of that kind of abuse and may have been the subject of the kind of abuse that a lot of us don't realize is abuse. And that's when we overcompensate for our kids and we do too much for them and we don't allow them to do for themselves, and we don't allow them to make their own mistakes so that they can see that they are capable and worthy. I really know about this because I also had a similar situation occur within my own family with two children who were overpraised, overcompensated for, and they grew up to be very, very narcissistic and disconnected because they weren't allowed to make mistakes and kind of do things on their own so that they can find their own way and their own self-worth and their own capability and ability. So most narcissists are this way. And so what happens is these narcissistic people grow up with this deep-rooted problem of not feeling loved, of not feeling accepted, of not feeling real, of not feeling that they exist because for whatever reason, whatever happened, whether it was an overbearing, hostile parent, a physically abusive parent, emotionally, spiritually abusive parent, this narcissistic person was shut off as a child. They were shut down so much that they didn't have anything left as far as they were concerned to be able to stay in that frame of mind. And so they ended up programmed into believing that they were not worthy. They are unworthy of love. But they do realize that they exist in a social society and a system that holds love high above all. And so in order for them to interact and put themselves in a position to get what they need, which is power and control, they have to emulate this love. Now, I'm not telling you about this particular situation to make anyone feel sorry or to make you feel sorry for the narcissist because they may have went through abuse or whatever. Because remember, most empaths or highly sensitive people and sometimes dysfunctional and codependent people have went through similar things. However, a choice was still made. This is where we get into that discussion between good and evil, right? For lack of better words, where a person chooses that, okay, I went through all of these horrible things, but because I went through all of these horrible things, it actually makes me more compassionate. For that reason, I can really sense and feel the pain of other people, and I want to help. I don't want to become like the people who hurt me, right? But the narcissist, on the other hand, usually becomes like the people who hurt them. This is a choice. Whether it's a choice that's made in the subconscious mind or in the conscious level at the time that the break happened is not a discussion that we'll go over in this video, maybe another video. But at this point, when you are engaging with the narcissistic person, they cannot love you. The narcissist cannot love you during the engagement because the whole goal is for the narcissist to get you to attach onto them, right? But they do not have any attachment, intimacy attachment style. The narcissist must remain detached. So once the narcissist realizes that you are attached to them, then they can go ahead and act out the chaos that they need to act out in order to keep the relationship interesting, meaning giving the narcissist narcissistic supply. This is why you'll be in a relationship with a narcissistic person and find out that they have a dual lifestyle. Whether this is a person that you're finding out is cheating on you, has been lying to you, or someone who has been accusing you of cheating, but then you find out that this person was actually cheating. And then when you catch them in the early stages, they may conjure up a story as to why this happened and put on a performance to get you to feel empathy for them so that you can dig into your bag of empathetic tricks, which are what? Being forgiving, understanding, putting yourself in their shoes. But the thing is, the narcissist knows that you are going to do this, right? And this gives the narcissist supply. But here's the flip side to when a narcissist has extended extreme emotional, psychological, and physical abuse on you. The more you allow a narcissistic person to misuse you, to clip your wings and detach you from your dreams and your true self and your creative self. The more you support the narcissist's views about themselves, this gives the narcissist narcissistic supply, where you reinforce their bad, poor, false belief that they are actually better than you and more superior than you, and you're really ridiculous and stupid for loving them. And so they continue to escalate their abuse on you. This is why they will cheat multiple times, and after a while it's like it's not making any sense to you. You can't seem to figure out, how could a person continue to tell you one thing and completely keep betraying you? And the more this person betrays you, the more your values and your boundaries and your dreams and your goals and the things that you're after become null and void. They're being broken down. Slowly but surely, you're being broken down and made to believe that you either don't deserve the things that you want, or you just don't have access to them. You can't have them. You won't ever have them. You're cursed. And meanwhile, this will continue to go on. This is how a lot of people end up with diseases, or even killed in this relationships, because they do not realize the escalation that is happening in the narcissistic mind during these abusive cycles and patterns. But the moment you get any kind of internal strength, right? When you get the information that you need, or you have an epiphany, or you have a moment where you're like, you know what, I am done. Suddenly, the narcissist recognizes your value. But in your mind, you can misinterpret this epiphany that the narcissist has, and the behaviors that the narcissist will implement if you try to break off a friendship or relationship, or a job work relationship with the narcissist. Once you've had it, this is the most sensitive, the most awakening time within those relationships or those transactions with narcissists. You will notice that the narcissist will begin to do everything that you asked him or her to do before to maintain the relationship, to make a contribution. Now suddenly the narcissist is able to do these things, and sometimes they can pretend for months or weeks on end to be fulfilling the ideas that you originally set out to accomplish with them before they get you comfortable and trick you and deceive you again. And this, what's so horrible about this, learning that this is why when people have that saying, oh yeah, they love you or miss you when you're gone. Not normal people. Normal people who respect you and want to have balance and healthy relationships, although they may not always be perfect, they're striving for the same things. Narcissists are striving for power and control over you. They don't love you and can't love you, but the only time it appears that they may have love, and it's just an emulation of love, is when you're gone. Is when you exercise inner strength and you show that you can uphold your boundaries. And so what this does is forces the narcissist to think about the choices that he or she made, but not based on your behalf. Remember, the narcissist is self-centered, self-absorbed, self-motivated, unable to tap into the source, the true source of his or her pain. And so the narcissist misses his target by pointing and reflecting all of his problems and issues on you and in the relationship. And you become a victim of this mistargeting, this excessive over and over and over infliction of pain and confusion and all the things that you go through in a relationship with the narcissist. Because narcissistic people, when they do appear to be reflecting, which they don't reflect, because if a narcissist was able to self-reflect, they wouldn't be a narcissist. Narcissists are maladaptive, so they're unable to reflect. The only thing that they necessarily reflect on is how they could maintain power and control, and so they would implement the proper manipulative tactics that have worked for them before, that have allowed them to get where they want, or the position or the place in your life that they want to be able to regain power and control over you, is through pretending that they get it, pretending that they understand. And so this simulation of love, this repeat of, okay, I get it now I will do better, or I promise to give you that position that you wanted, you just have to work on this a little longer, or whatever it is. And it's important that we realize that these narcissistic traps are out there, and understand why the narcissist wants to show you so much love and appreciation, and wants to do so much for you when you start to stand your ground or reassert your boundaries. It's not because of you. It's not because of you. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It has everything to do with the narcissist's desperate need to get you back in control, in alignment with what they want from you, so that they can feel validated. Narcissistic people have no sense of self-validation. They are only validated by what you think and say and do for them. And if you get out of line with that, and they don't have narcissistic supply lined up, or anyone who is as good as you in terms of giving them that narcissistic supply, they are going to go above and beyond to try to keep you in place until they can get it. But the moment they can get it, they're going to hurt you really, really bad. Because remember, they don't forgive. They just remember when you did try to get away, when you did try to stand up to them, when you did try to assert yourself. That's always in the back of their mind. And so they're always trying to figure out a way to pay you back, and they will do anything to pay you back. They do not care. They do not have any boundaries. They do not have any empathy. They do not have a conscience. And this, in my opinion, is a choice. Whether or not it has become the programming. Remember, programming is just that, programming. And each of us has an opportunity every moment to reprogram ourselves, particularly when we realize we are hurting and damaging other people. But the narcissistic person just does not care, because a narcissistic person is self-everything. Not only self-indulgent, they're self-pitying. So they can't choose you. They can't say, hey, wow, I'm really hurting this person so bad, let me change my ways. They're unable to do that, because as far as the narcissist is concerned, they're the ones with all the problems. They're the ones who have been hurt. They're the ones, they're special and unique, and nobody understands them. You know, they need people to praise them. They need people to lift them up. They need people to look at them and understand their point of view. They don't understand reciprocity, because somewhere down the line in their childhood they weren't afforded reciprocity, and so as far as they're concerned, it doesn't exist, and they don't have to give it now either. And what makes them so dangerous is that the average person thinks that we're all the same, and even if we're not the same, that we are all on a spectrum where we can be reasoned with at some point. And it's not true. There are some people who cannot be reasoned with. And the important thing to note here before I wrap this video up, before I wrap this audio up, is that even in moments where you feel that reasoning has been affected, and that you have someone in front of you who is giving you an opening to reason, if it is a narcissistic person, it is fake. It is like they're reading off of a script. Think of the narcissist as, you know, when you tell a little kid to go do something, let's just say a little kid is watching TV and you're like, no more TV. I said, you have to go do your homework, right? And, you know, the kid is upset. So the kid goes in the room and says some mean things about the parent, or sticks his middle finger up when you turn your back. And then you turn around, you say, what'd you say? And the kid goes, nothing, mommy. That's how narcissists behave. Even on an adult level, like 5-year-olds, they're untrustworthy. So if it appears that a narcissist is showing you good signs and that they love you now that you're gone, it's a trick, it's a trap. Don't go back. If you like this video, prove it by pressing like. If you know someone who could benefit from this video, who may be caught between that rock and a hard place and unsure and doubting themselves and having a difficult time following their intuition or using their experiences as reality to make the decisions that will keep them safe, creative, and walking on their proper path, share this video. And if you subscribe to my channel, thank you. And if you haven't subscribed, I recommend you subscribe today.